Bruchim habaim leDiqduq Daqot. Welcome to Grammar Moments. I'm Moshe.
And I'm Qiqayon.
We're going to begin every grammar video with the phrase that we just said that's written here below. We want to translate it for you in this first video. So the first two words, Bruchim habaim, are the equivalent in modern Hebrew of the word welcome. And bruchim is a passive participle from the verb to bless. So it's sort of being blessed or blessed. And habaim is a participle, the coming ones, the ones who come. So blessed are the ones who come. Welcome.
LeDiqduq Daqot is le, to, Diqduq, grammar, Daqot, moments. So welcome to grammar moments. Diqduq Daqot is our playful attempt to use alliteration like reading rainbow so that you can be really inspired and eager to learn about grammar.
That's our goal. So every video that we make is going to cover only one concept. The videos will move through and correspond to my textbook, Biblical Hebrew in Interactive Approach. And each one will cover one concept, and the name of each video will be that grammar concept, and also will include the page number that corresponds to the place in the textbook where that grammar concept is covered. Our goal with these videos is to make them easy to find with clear name, easy to repeat, they'll be short and concise, and easy to digest. Hopefully they'll be accessible.
It's important to realize that grammar is a description of the patterns of a language. We often talk about grammar rules, but actually a language is not governed by rules, but rather grammar is a description of the patterns that have evolved as the language has developed over the years.
We typically think of grammar as abstract and as disconnected from the processes of interpretation or theology. But our contention is that grammar is actually an avenue through which a people can express a part of their worldview, and therefore it has very much to do with theology. In fact, grammar is theology. It's a doorway that we can enter through to find the meaning in a text. And so remember this in the coming weeks and months as you're trying to remember the difference between the Dagesh Lene and the Dagesh Forte, or what are the three signs of the definite article. All of those things are actually connected in intimate ways to the real fruit of learning a foreign language, and particularly a biblical language, which is the meaning of the text.
It's also really helpful to realize that there's not a one-to-one relationship between Hebrew and English. And this will become very obvious to you when you study the vocabulary. Hebrew has an economy of language and has far fewer words than the English language does. And Hebrew words have a large range of meaning, which you will discover when you start to memorize the vocabulary. In fact, we use word pictures because they help to capture more of the nuances of the Hebrew words. There's not a one-to-one relationship between a Hebrew word and an English word. In fact, sometimes it's impossible to capture with one single English word the meaning of the Hebrew. The same is true with grammar. There's not a one-to-one correspondence between Hebrew and English when it comes to grammar. English is a tense-based language, and Hebrew is not. But when we translate, we have to utilize the verbal system of the English to translate the Hebrew. So in other words, we have to take the round peg of the Hebrew verbal system and smash it into the square hole of the English tenses.
But the fruit of this is to be able to discover insights and nuances and meaning that you can then convey when you're teaching or you're preaching or just in your own devotional life reading the Hebrew Bible. The ultimate goal of learning Hebrew is not to learn a new language, but to have your relationship with the Bible changed. And that's really the goal of this class. It's the goal of the textbook. It's what we hope for you and what we've experienced ourselves. And so over the course of the year, we're going to give you a lot of videos that are theological reflections that will be tethered in explicit and implicit ways to the grammar. They'll draw heavily on the grammar. And our intent in those will be to reveal meaning that is inaccessible from an English translation, therefore making learning of the language of Hebrew all important in finding that meaning.
So if it feels discouraging at times, learning the various paradigms and understanding the various concepts of the Hebrew verbal system, we can remember that the reason that we're doing this is because of a love of the Word and a love of the God who offered as a gift this Word to us.
At the end of every video, we'll close with the same phrase, just like we'll open with the same phrase. And that phrase will be, Lech L'Shalom.
Go in peace.